Hey, what's shaking? How's it going? Steve here. Today we are doing, I was originally going to cook a spinach manicotti kind of thing with cannelloni. So that's kind of changed a little bit. So what I'm doing now, there you are. All right. A little bit of jazz happening. I got my drink happening. What's shaking? That's right. So make sure you got your cannelloni shells. I already kind of bought. So, hard to see it here, isn't it? Oh, it's shaking. There we go. Let's try that. So, I got my garlic, probably 2 tablespoons of oil, kind of thing. I've got some red onion, and I've also made myself a boquillon, which is a Spanish little sandwich with salami. Okay. Super delicious. Okay. Don't burn your garlic. So, half a red onion, quarter red onion. I usually chop a bunch of it previously and then kind of throw it in the fridge. So I've always got it when I need it. I don't usually cook with a lot of onion unless the dish requires a lot of onion. That's pretty much it. Still good, right? Put it back in the container. So usually it calls for spinach, but I don't want to use. When I buy garlic, I usually buy garlic like that, so it's already ready to go. Spoon it in. It'll be fresh garlic, no question. It's awesome. But anyway, nonetheless. So it's got a little bit of color. Put the basil on after. I've been buying this for basil because if I buy basil in a container, let me show you. Look at that. That's a day old. I got that yesterday. Seriously. Nothing's lasting. That's what I haven't used yet. Finding the other one is going to be. There we go. So, crushed tomatoes. This is going to be your underlying sauce. And what happens is you're going to use more of it anyway on top of it, so I'm going to put the whole can in. I usually start the sauce first because it takes sometimes the longest. Get everything out of there. That's pretty much it. So, if you're finding sauces sometimes too bitter, generally put a little bit of sugar in it. So, there's technically my sauce. Let that simmer, cover it. Probably a good half hour, 40 minutes. Then keep it on low. Alright, so now, let's get the meat going. So, where I usually use about 3 bunches or 4 bunches of spinach, when you end up cooking it, pretty much this is what you get out of it, right? So, maybe a little bit more than half. Probably just go half, right? Because you start on top of this, you're going to add your ricotta, and you're going to add about a quarter of this or a third right? So I mix my cottage cheese with my ricotta. Just adds a little bit. Put a little more salt in it. So yeah, half of this. And that makes up for not having the spinach. All right. So bocadillo, la bocadillo. So this is basically, it's just fresh potato bun. You can either put Havarti cheese, but anyway, so it starts with the bun, nice and soft. A little bit of olive oil, no gluten, and then kind of close it, and there you go. Salt to taste, pepper. Put in your Genoa salami. You can put whatever. Usually it's Genoa salami, Hungarian salami, some mortadella. Tomatoes if I got them, fresh tomato sliced, and olive oil and salt and pepper. That's it. That's a typical. Let me tell you, man. Okay. I put a little bit of this in it. It was awesome. Let's start with the meat. All right. First, we're gonna preheat our pan. Okay, so now I'm gonna fry the meat. Put a little bit of butter in that. I'm not gonna use oil, primarily because I'm using lean ground beef. So if I'm using other beef, it gets more fat, right? But I'm not using a lot of that right now. So then what I do, break it up as you're putting it in. You can use gloves or whatever you want. My hands are clean. As a cook, I clean them all the time, even at work. So that's pretty much half. Wash my hands. Okay. Break it up. Now it depends what you want to put in for flavor. Usually I put a little bit of chuck steak flavoring powder or a little paprika or whatever. If I do use paprika, I'll try and use the Spanish one, which is one of my favorites. Get in there. So that I'll put in the container. And final lid. This is the hardest thing in this house. Generally, I'll that works. If I put anything in the fridge, I generally date it. Sometimes it ends up being in the fridge for a little bit too long. But today, I know when it's going in there. I add a little bit of basil, fresh basil to the sauce as well. And now it's basically just kind of simmering. Stir it up a little bit. Put it on low. Yes, Same spoon, I know. That's it. Try and break up all the chunks as much as possible. At least I do. I just find it just tends to spread a little bit more, and it's almost like I don't know. All right, a little bit of spice. What I'm probably going to put just a little bit of. What do we got? What do we have? I don't usually measure anything. It's my habit. So a couple sprinkles of teriyaki. I like cooking a lot with celery salt. Just adds a different balance. That's probably a teaspoon and a bit. One thing I really like cooking a lot with is Cavenders. This stuff is awesome. I use that for a lot of different dishes. Again, probably a teaspoon. And then paprika. I don't have any smoked stuff. Just a couple little dashes. That's it. And then, yeah, let that brown. Hey, okay, so you basically, the meat's been browned. Put a little bit of tomato paste in there. And a couple little small spigots of basil. My sauce is pretty much ready. It's there. Oh, wow, that smells great. Okay, so now probably a palm and a little bit more. That takes care of that. That's your Parmigiano. Okay, get a spoon. Cottage cheese. It's okay, you want the cottage cheese. So about a third of this. So 1, 2, 3 tablespoons. You ready? Spain. This with peaches. Fresh peaches from a can. That's my grandma and my mom. That's how they ate it. Okay, now you're going to put your ricotta. So 1 container, 475. Or if you find them in 400s, 400's fine. I'm going to use the 475. I'm going to use all of it. Now, ricotta is... it's a neutral cheese. So it just absorbs any of the flavor you technically put into it, right? So otherwise it's neutral. Kind of like, think of it like tofu, right? Think of it like tofu. That's it. That's it. Rinse that a little bit. I like to rinse my dishes before I throw it out. Because, yeah, anyway. Okay, so in that mix, I'm supposed to put an egg, but egg's different. Egg would basically, if you're using the spinach, use the egg. If you're using the ground beef, you don't need the egg. Theoretically. So I'm going to cook it without the egg. You can put the egg, you're more than welcome to. And that's pretty much it. So, fuck it, put the whole damn thing in there. Okay, your ground beef. Rinse that off. Now, theoretically, I wanted to wait a little longer because it's warm, right? With the spinach, it was different. With the spinach, I blanch it, so boiling water, and then I'll throw my mix in my spinach in there for 5-6 minutes, and then I just strain it and squeeze everything out of it. So. This will be my first time making this with ground beef because usually I like the spinach texture. But I think this might be easier to stuff. I've got to have a drink. Okay. Oven is supposed to be on at 350. Convection. Bingo. Start. Now 30 to 40 minutes or less because ground beef is pretty much already cooked. But the shells. So I buy the shells that I buy. I gotta find them. Yeah, hang on. The shells that I buy are the ones that are oven ready, so you don't have to throw them into the hot water and shit. So, open that bad boy up. For this, I am going to wear gloves. Yes, I am going to wear gloves. Put that there. Alrighty. So for the sauce, you're going to be using some on top, but you need to coat the bottom. Wow. Wow, wow. That's awesome. Sauce is simple. You don't need to put a lot of stuff into it. Like I said, a little basil, a little bit of oregano, and then your fundamentals are right there. A little bit of salt, pepper, sugar. And that's it. Okay? Okay, a little bit more right there. Alrighty. This should be interesting. Safety first, right? Cold already. Oh yeah, this is going to be a little time consuming. So anyway, for those watching, this is it's time consuming, right? So it takes a little bit of time. Make sure you get it on there. Watch for air pocket and don't push too hard because you can crack these. A lot of them already come broken, so I'm just trying to go as careful as I can. If you've got the means of getting a, basically it's a plastic bag. I was going to buy some the other day, but I didn't. I saw them at the store. I'm like, oh, piping bags, right? So I did. I should have grabbed them, but then again, I don't make this dish very often. Not for it's time consuming. It's just, yes, for it's time consuming because it takes a while to make them, and it does. It just takes a while. I mean, I could convert this into a lasagna, which would be awesome. Same thing, which means I would double up on my sauce. So same idea. You could turn this into a lasagna. Just double the sauce you make it, because you got to put this down, your layers, a little bit of sauce, this down, a little bit of layers, your sauce. So it does take a little bit longer. So but generally this is pretty much all you're going to be doing for the entire 15-20 minutes of your existence, is just stuffing these shells. There's no really faster way of doing it. You know, try to put a hand in there and just shove it, but then what's going to happen is you're going to end up breaking it. Should call it death metal cooking with jazz. Death metal cooking with jazz. It's good timing. By the time I get this, I mean, I'm already at 200 degrees on the oven, so. Okay, so I had a little bit of meat left over. I just kind of smeared it in there. So with that, yeah, I know. Well, I don't like wasting shit. Okay. I didn't feel like grating any, so I just got the Italian style cheese. Don't ask, I don't know. But these I like because they're less mess in the house, and if you're not making it very often, let's just face it. A little bit from top. Okay, that's it. 350 in the oven. I'm gonna time it for 30. I'm gonna go 25. So all right. Cover it with saran wrap. Not saran wrap. Aluminum foil. I know what I meant to say. Pretty much it. Nip and tuck. So I'm going to bake it for 20-25 minutes, and then I'll just leave it in the oven, turn the oven off, and then I'll leave it in there for another 10 minutes on top of that. Now, convection oven, of course, it's going to cook a little quicker. Just like that, right? Okay, so where you take it out, and then you're going to add, I'm just going to add another 8 minutes, but with the cover off. So Let's see what she looks like. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, that smells so good. Oh, look at that. Oh, smell-o-vision, man. Smell-o-vision. Look at that. Bubbling. Now we just put it back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on broil, which means I got to stop everything. So I hit stop, I hit broil, and I go 350. I go start. So it wants to stay at 400, so I'm going to just go timer off. 6 minutes. All right. Okay. That's it. Time's up. So now I just take it out, and then I'll generally let it sit for about 10. Oh, look at that. Just let it sit for about 10 minutes. Still cooking. Let the juices come up. Let it cool down just a little bit. The flavors will just start coming up to the top. Okay, so now that it has been in the oven and it's been out of the oven, it's been sitting for about 10 minutes, let's do this. And then I kind of forgot the way I actually laid them out here. Oh, yeah. So the key thing you want to do is obviously you do want to let it sit. Because nobody wants a dish that's just piping hot. It's too much, right? Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Anyway, so there is my meat version of spinach manicotti. Hope you guys enjoy. Stay frosty. Thanks for watching. For more menus and more dishes, follow me to know where I'm going. Bye.